Shh, come on.
So cute. Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of, Christopher.
I'm not afraid, Ekster.
Oh, sweetie, no, of course not.
What's up? Don't panic.
What do we do?
If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down.
But is it black versus brown? I mean, it looks brown to me.
Upper Lake Show. It's black. We have to fight it.
How do you know? You're not a bear expert.
Whatever you do, don't
Run!
Oh no! Oh no! I said don't run! Stop! Stop!
This is a Silk exclusive.
Welcome to another episode of Words Music Dance. I'm your host as always, Paulie the Bull. No relation to Garano. Hi, Mom. Today, we got a little flip side. If you've seen the last episode, last time we talked with the ladies. This time I got the fellas. So I'm going to recap with them real quick because I haven't spoken to neither one of them in a minute, especially John. John been, MIA. You haven't seen him on any Great Pending episodes. Haven't seen him in any Words Music Dance episodes. John, I'm glad to see you alive. How are you, my good brother? How you feeling?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I'm feeling better. I had some things to take care of and stuff, but I'm doing all right.
Good to know. Good to know. Gene, I've seen you a couple months ago. What's up? But of course, I still care. How you feeling? How's life? What's good with you?
Everything is good. Can't complain. Family's good, and one day at a time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So shout out to everybody listening, of course. Shout out to everybody watching, of course. I appreciate you. And, we don't waste no time. Let's get right to it. Gene, the last time we did converse on the show, we were talking about the one Kendrick Lamar Duckworth and the one Aubrey Drake Graham. And we really haven't discussed much of the beef since J. Cole, released his song and then deleted it and apologized. We haven't really delved much into that, but since then, a lot has gone on. Not to go too, in depth because there's a lot of songs that happened. I want to know, like, after aftermath, how do you feel about the rap battle itself? Some people calling it the greatest rap battle of all time. How do you feel, Gene? Let me ask you first. What are your thoughts on the battle overall?
Yeah, man, being an '80s baby, you got to experience a lot of rap battles, especially in like the '90s and early 2000s. And this is probably the most significant one since early 2000s, probably since like 50 and Ja, maybe. That's more significance if you think about that. Overall, man, I just think that Kendrick is a dope lyricist, and I think Drake is just a dope artist. He can make hits. You put Drake on a hit, it's gonna scream, it's gonna go platinum or whatever. But I think he tried to play the social media game with somebody that's a cerebral assassin that didn't play the social media game and just out strategize him as far as what he said on wax when he dropped the songs, and then also his rebuttals. And Drake seemed like he wanted to take it to a place, and the problem was that when he took it there, he didn't fully commit. But once he was already there, Kendrick fully committed, and pretty much if anybody's read The Art of War or even like the 48 Laws of Power, once you have the chance to defeat your opponent, you crush them. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what Kendrick did. So there you have it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. John, haven't got much from you about the battle. Obviously, are you well aware, caught up? Have you listened to the songs? Are you aware of what all the stuff that went down?
Yeah, for the most part. Obviously, still a big fan of the music in general. So, basically, like for me, I mean, I do agree. It's definitely in that vein of that Pac Big, that that Jay-Z Nas, that kind of epic battle. We haven't had something like this in a very long time of significance that mattered. I think that one, obviously, Drake got cooked. But besides that, I honestly think he shouldn't have responded in the first place. Like I think he's better off just making his hits, making his songs, and just if if he would just leave it alone and, like you said, don't poke the boogeyman, he'd have been all right. He'd have been fine. He'd just make his hits, make his songs, and pretend like he didn't even hear what's going on because he's still going to make his money. He's still going to get his streams. He was better off avoiding him. There's certain people, you don't step in the ring and try to box with God. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it works. And in this particular situation with this generation of rap, K. Dot is of that caliber. And taking straight from what he said, definitely a cerebral assassin. Like, he's not someone that you want to get on with. And the problem is that, unlike before with certain people like Meek Mill and so that, it's going to take more than a catchy hook and some bullshit lyrics to get someone like K-Dot, especially with the fact that the culture is behind him. It's not, the pop fans like Drake got. It's the actual culture of hip hop behind K-Dot. Like, that's not a problem you want it.
Right. I think that might have been the biggest mistake he made, was underestimating Kendrick and, like you said, thinking he was on the same level as a Meek and even a Pusha T. As much as we love Pusha T, we know Pusha T is not that caliber of celebrity or art, renowned, artist. But Kendrick is that dude. Like, people forget, and me and Gene was talking about it this morning, a little earlier, about Funk Flex saying, "Oh, is this a career revival or whatever?" And Charlemagne, literally reminding him like, "Yo, this dude just came off the highest grossing hip hop tour of all time by a single, artist." Because Drake ended up topping that, but it was Drake and 21 Savage tour. So Kendrick headlining, Kendrick's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour did that. Worldwide, 100 and something million grossing. And that just
110 million.
And that was this year. So that's recent. That's not, oh, he did that before he fell off. No, he just did that. And I think, Drake tried to low bro him, and act like I'm still bigger. And it was like, you are still bigger, but this dude is almost as big, if not, in certain, and again, like John said, in this culture war, you're not bigger.
Yeah. I mean, look who they chose for the Black Panther soundtrack.
Right.
Like, not even to be funny, but that was, like, if you think about that movie, what that was supposed to be, as far as like a gift to people of the culture for Marvel to actually make one of our characters important. He pretty much was on that entire soundtrack. You know what I mean?
And Drake, disrespecting that with he rapped like he's trying to free the slaves.
Yeah.
And it's like, you were just so...
like, every time I think about it more and more, it's like, that is so disrespectful beyond even trying to diss Kendrick. He said American slaves. Like, bro, you talking about us.
Right.
You're literally talking about us. Like, what? I don't know. He had a lot of missteps. And again, to your point about the aftermath now, he did that Wagwan Delilah with the dude that's not even of that culture, that makes fun of it, that does parody, and you do a song with him, and then you do the two Camila Cabello songs, which didn't hit. I haven't heard them. Spotify is not even recommending. I mean, Tidal's not even recommending those songs. They recommend hot new tracks. They're not even recommending it. I've been on YouTube. I haven't seen YouTube with Camila Cabello, Drake with lyrics. I haven't seen anybody Twitter. All I see people saying is that I can't believe he decided to do two songs with that racist girl.
And it's literally what they're saying for her, because they really banked her album rollout on them songs with him. You know what I'm saying? They even held it. Those songs were already made, and they held it because of the battle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this, like, her whole album rollout and everything was banking on, hey, we got Drake on the song. He can't miss. You know what I'm saying? And it's also,
I mean, with the
good John.
Yeah, with the K-Dot Drake thing, like, one thing you were touching on when you talking, like, as far as being big, and K-Dot's equally as big. When it comes to the hip hop culture, though, like, in my opinion, K-Dot is the bigger artist, like, for hip hop. Like Drake is a pop star. There's no doubt about it. Drake is a pop star. He raps, but he is a pop star without a doubt. And he's probably bigger globally overall because he's a pop star. So the demographic of music that we to him. But when you're talking battling, it's about hip hop.
Right.
In my opinion, K-Dot's a way bigger force in the hip hop culture. So like I said, Drake just didn't have a chance. He was messing with the wrong one. And what is this? 2-0? Because he lost the Pusher.
Well, so
he
lost the
I don't
push.
count the Joe Budden one.
I counted. He lost to Joe because Joe because people like, oh, he didn't respond. He did. He did the was it 9 a.m. in Calabasas? That was directed towards Joe. He just did it subliminally, and again, I think probably that was like the ultimate disrespect to Joe because he didn't even want to engage with him. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? So I take that as a forfeit. He lost the push. He beat Meek. That's probably the only person he beat. Common, they really only had one song back and forth, I think. Yeah. I don't even think they really...
Stay Scheming is just... It's hard. Like, you made a hit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But Common did the Canada Dry joint. He had some bars for him, too. So it was like, that really didn't get in depth. But to that point, let me ask you guys, what would you say was Drake's best song from this battle? And what was Kendrick's best song from this battle?
I'll be honest with Drake. I don't know the names of the songs. I've heard them, but you know for the longest time. I used to talk about this back in the Best Buy warehouse. I'm not a Drake person. Like I just not like I like his AM songs where he's rapping. His singing shit is I'm not a Drake person. Like even right now, thousands of songs on my Apple Music, and I think I maybe have 2 or 3 Drake songs. I might have featuring Drake, but actual Drake songs, maybe 2. I'm not a Drake person. So I don't even know the names of his songs. I watched the video first because I saw the purple van and I was like, all right, I gotta watch this video though. But for K-Dot, it's definitely not like us. Like just the way it hit, you have like it globally, like to have, you know what it's like to have everyone singing you this like it's a hit song. Like it's not no poppy song, and yet it's still everyone's singing it. It's everywhere. It's all over social media. It's all over. People are singing it all over the place. Like, you know.
Gene, what would you say?
Yeah, I think Drake's best song was Family Matters. He challenged himself a little bit, did the beat skip, not even with the video, but just how he comes in. He starts off real ignorant, and you know he bodies a few people. Like he bodied that, he flowed on it, he wrote it, whatever. You don't pause, but that's his best song. And I know, like obviously, I know Not Like Us is a bop, right? That's a bop. But I think the warning and the entendres on Euphoria for someone like me is just impeccable about how it really makes you think about the whole scenario before it even starts. It makes you just think about everything that brought us to this moment of now getting this song. I think that was probably Kendrick's best song overall with the warning. But honestly, I love Not Like Us. I love Not Like Us. But for some reason, my personal favorite is 616 in LA.
Gotcha. Now, for me, because I've asked a few people this question, and a lot of people keep saying that Family Matters was Drake's best song, and I think it was probably his worst. I think that was his mistake, because I think Push Ups was probably his best song, and he should have stayed in that lane. It had his catchy hook flow. The Drop and Give Me 50 was catchy. You know what I'm saying? It had the Metro, Shut Your Punk Ass Up, Make Some Drums. Like it had the catchiness and it had a dope beat and stuff too. So I think he should have stayed in that lane. Whereas with Family Matters, the best part of the song was like that drill section, and he only mentioned Kendrick twice. And I think that's why that was his worst song, because he got sidetracked and was still worried about, you know, Ross and Future and Weeknd. And it was like, you're engaging in a battle with Kendrick and you're talking about everybody else. And the hardest stuff you said was for everybody else.
Yeah, he bodied Rick Ross.
Yeah. And to me, like I said, Family Matters in general was his biggest mistake. Like doing the video, showing that you're a colonizer, having Tupac's ring, Pharrell's jewelry, Kendrick's van.
Hell's Angels.
You know what I'm saying? Like he did everything.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to get into the video. I
I
was talking
know,
about song wise. But if we're
song
talking about
wise, even the way he
talking about
started the
video,
song, having his
yeah,
mom at the beginning of the song say, you
yeah,
know, maybe you shouldn't say, and him say, nigga, dude, you,
yeah.
you're making Kendrick go, see? That's all you had to do is go, see what I'm saying? Like anybody that says the N word is, you know, doesn't have to prove to you like, see, I can say it. Huh? It's like, no, I'm not even gonna address that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if anything, call your dad. Don't call your mom. Your
Right.
dad's black. Like, hey, dad. He said I can't say it. That's crazy, right? Like, you gonna have your mom who's Jewish be the intro to the song, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think he just overall, that was his biggest mistake to me. I think Push-Ups was the lane he should have stayed in. He was lyrical on there, he was witty on there, but he was also his most confident on there. And I think his confidence slowly kept weaning down, and it showed. And we just saw him at Michael Rubin's all-white party, looking,
Age like milk, boy. Age like milk.
he looked
So,
drained.
like, but because K Dot is the way K Dot is, my question to you or to y'all is obviously he was waiting for the moment. How much of the shit you think he had on the back burner just waiting? like this, I don't think a lot of this was like, oh, let me run to the studio right now. It was like, nah, I'm waiting for him to push me and I'm gonna load the clip.
I think Euphoria was already made. It sounds like N95. If you play N95 from Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and Euphoria, it sounds like the same kind of cadence and rhythm. And so I think that might have been an alternate version because you know, we just seen like he got a bunch of leaks and he tweaks songs and things. So if it wasn't already made, it might have been an alternate version of like N95, and then he tweaked it to focus it directly on him. So that one I definitely think for sure. And I
A
think
lot of verses were current though.
yeah,
A lot
that's
of the
right.
verses were
So that's why I think he had the beats because Mustard already said, not like us. He sent him that beat a while ago, so he had the beat already in the tuck, but he probably didn't have the what I'm gonna do on this, what I'm gonna go with this, and then it was like, got it, you know what I'm saying? So I think he had the beats already, and even Meet the Grams was an Alchemist beat that he had the beats already at least, and might have just mumbled over the songs to figure something out. But then it was like, once this happened, it was just no writer's block. He just, all right, I got everything for this. I know what I want to do. So I don't know how much of it might have been done. Like I said, if anything, I would say Euphoria, because it sounds like N95 from the album, and the other ones might have been newer and made on the spot. But I think Euphoria, which is why he kind of got that out first, and then 616 was like the real warning shot. Like, all right, now that I know what we about to do and where this is about to go, now it really begins. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to guess, that's what I would say. But I mean, there's a rumor maybe possibly that Kendrick's gonna drop an album. Do y'all think we're gonna get an album soon, or?
Yeah, I think so. I
It's
think in
time.
the next month or two, I think we'll get one for sure. Like John said, it's time. Like, and it's not even like you don't need to make the album like off of this wave, but you do have more ears if they even, it's always an artist can always gain more ears, right? So he does have more ears and eyes now. And I think if his album's gonna be anything like that snippet off the Not Like Us video, I need that album like next week because that means we're gonna get some bops with still conscious rap, something to make you think. Even in Not Like Us, he said, "Hold on, let me like really tell y'all what's going on." It's 2024. You still got the same agenda. You're just switching how it's rapped. It's the same thing. Let me show y'all really what he's doing. Like again, like you always in the land of my boy. You from Toronto.
And that's the funny thing about Not Like Us, because everybody's like, oh, he made a song about calling him a pedophile. He called him a pedophile. He called him a colonizer. He called him a bitch. Like, he called him a lot more. Like, people are simplifying.
Called him a lot.
He called him a lot. Like, don't just miss everything he said. Like, he said a lot. And the song is much layered than that. Like, so like, people just simplifying it and just saying, oh, he called him, but no, he said way more. He called him way more. That, like, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing, the worst offense. But as far as in the hip hop culture and stuff, like calling him a colonizer for the music, breaking that down in that whole verse, you went to Future for this, You went to 21 Savage for this. He went to Lil Baby for this. He went to, like, you know what I'm saying? He broke it down for you and gave you each thing you did to each person. Now you got to have them friendships. They're going to be like, yo, did you do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, next time you want to do a whole album with 21 Savage, he might have to be like, yeah, why you always doing albums with me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now it's like, he started to put the little seed of doubt. Like,
you can't, no, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be able to do a whole collab album with him until he climbs up out of this for a while, because once you do that, then you attach yourself to most of this stuff that was said. And then it's like, man, if most of the coaches actually feeling like this and I go do an album with him, first of all, you're not Drake. Your career is really going to hurt. Because let's call it what it is. He's Drake, but this hurt. So imagine another artist that's not Drake,
right,
and then doing a collab album with him. Oh, it's over. Never to be seen or heard from again.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
how long do you guys think before we see another Drake album?
Man, come back next summer, bro.
It don't seem like he can. I think he just has to be relevant. He's one of the people that I gotta be spoken about. He can't help himself. Like, I think he just needs to be spoken about. So I think it's coming soon. He might do something by like October, September or something. I don't think he can stay away.
He better leave that man from Compton alone.
I just don't think he can stay away. But I can see an album coming before this year's out. Because
there's another Drake album I'm not gonna listen to.
Right, you and me both, John.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
like when he drops an album, I still listen to it from start to finish at least one time, just so I can see. Yeah. And it's just there's not one Drake album that he's ever put out that I can listen to from start to finish. Like, he doesn't. I've argued this back in the Warehouse days. He don't have a classic album, in my opinion. He has not one classic album. That's just my personal opinion for what I like.
And that's
been a debate, though, John. Yeah, that's been a debate. I don't think you fall off. I think we actually was debating that last time, and I would, if we have to, like, for me, I would say if there's any one or two that's debatable, in my opinion, would be Take Care and Nothing Was the Same, right? Which are two different bodies of work, but I guess I only say that because, to your point, when I think about his albums, those are probably the two that I could listen to and probably run back to, like Certified Lover Boy, Scorpion, what the dark tape lanes, whatever I don't know what this nigga be doing, man. But all that other stuff, like, I don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he lost me after a while. I'm just like, bro, this is too much. You can't. Like, you're not an artist that should be flooding the market like this with album after album after album. But that shows you what happened when streams and the record label got you in a chokehold, really.
Dropping Gimme 50. And it's funny because I actually ran back to his first couple of albums to see, and I forgot how many features was on that first album. He had
everybody.
Alicia Keys, Jay-Z, Nicki Minaj.
Jeezy.
He had T.I., Jeezy, Swiss, The Dream. Like, it was so it's funny to hear him always talk about what he did for people. And, you know, I put Kendrick on the first tour, and I did a song with so-and-so. Rick Ross, I gave you your first charted songs. And it's like, yo, your first album was featuring everybody that was hot at the time. Like, And
how many features Kendrick had on this first album? We know he had.
It depends on which one you consider the first album, because some people skip over Section 80.
Not Section 80. Not
Okay.
Section 80
Good Kid?
because that's independent.
Good
so
Kid?
we're talking about like major.
Good Kid, Mad City had.
Does his team count, like J-Rock and shit? Does that still count?
J-Rock was on.
Because he didn't have big features except for, like, he didn't have huge features. He had, like, smaller ones.
That's his team. That's his team. So I don't think.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, Jay-Z did the "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe" remix.
Nah, that don't count. That's
nah.
So Dre, Mary J. Blige, MC8.
Who?
MC8 was on Mad City.
Yeah, but see, I agree. But would you say MC8 is a big enough artist to that album sell, like Dream and them? That's what I'm saying.
Like I said, I'm just answering the question.
Push the album.
Yeah,
who had to push the album?
Yeah. Right. I'm just answering the question. Who was on there? That's all. Yeah, like Dre was on like the last song. He was on the Compton song. Mary was on the last song where he basically signed his deal. That was after he, you know what I'm saying? So it was like it was the progression of you know. So yeah, at the end of the album is when he got the big feature because that's when he made it.
So we just counted four
Yeah.
features, right?
Yeah.
Let's take away MC8. We got Mary J. Blige, Drake, and you got Dr. Dre, who was pushing him because of the whole label stuff. So you could really only say Drake and Mary J. Blige if you're being right, like subjective, whatever. If you go to Drake, Drake was Cash Money, Young Money, and who's their major back then? Who's their major?
Universal, I think.
Universal, right?
Yeah.
So and most of his
Columbia,
features came from what?
Yeah.
But look, most of his features came from Def Jam, Rock Nation,
who was popping at the time. Right. That's what I'm saying.
And Def Jam's a major. So
yeah. So that's why I said when I went back to the album, I was like, yo, I forgot how many people was on this album. And this is coming from the man that keeps wanting to brag. I like that album. Like I said, the first two, to John's point, I could probably play those straight through. The first two, and that's it. After that, he went in a different direction
He don't have an album I can play straight through. I mean, but like I said, in my opinion, he doesn't have a Good Kid, Mad City. He doesn't have a Damn. He doesn't have a To Pimp a Butterfly. He doesn't have he doesn't have those albums. He doesn't have that. He's not like, and even like with hip hop, like is like lyricist wise, is he on anyone's top 10? Is he even like K-Dot is in so many people different things, top 5. Like again, talking about hip hop, I'm not talking about music. Because obviously that's like the Taylor Swift world. We're talking about hip hop. Like, like there's not many. Well, right now in this generation, like there's the new generation, there's not one artist that could fuck with K-Dot. And for the longest time, everyone was like, "Yo, J. Cole is that one dude who we could mention the same name." But when he pulled that bitch shit and pulled his album, I mean his song, he lost the respect too.
And we had that conversation as well. Yeah. And
I wish he never dropped it because I love Cole.
And I said that same thing.
I'm a huge Cole fan.
He should have never made that song, and he definitely should have never pulled it back. I get it.
He did the right
why. Yeah, I get why. But
you get why what? He dropped the song, why he pulled it?
I get why he pulled it. I still to this day don't get why he even made it. And I guess I've always said, and I don't know him personally, but we've seen him be torn or get, misled by his peoples time and time again. It's like, don't let them gas you up. Like, you shouldn't make the song because my man said, yo, he's getting at you. You gonna get at him? Gonna get? No. Me and y'all have a relationship. The fact that Schoolboy Q is the one that called him, you have a relationship. TDE and Dreamville have a relationship. You and Kendrick specifically personally have a relationship that you shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? So that was my issue off the rip. Like, he shouldn't even have made it. Then once you made it, it's like, all right, you got to just commit. Call them and say, yo, I'm just playing, but let's get these bars off. You know what I'm saying? But don't, it was heavy on my heart. Nah. Call him and clear your heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't pull it back. Like, you got to say, well, I'm here now. I committed to it. What's up?
Yeah. Once you take that shot, you can't put that bullet back. He's like, don't work that way.
It's out.
I didn't know you could do that, though. I didn't know you could just erase yourself.
It was a blank, man. It made a sound. It made a sound, but it didn't hit nothing.
Yeah.
It's a blank.
Yeah.
I still love Cole. Cole, if you ever see this, man, you still got a fan of me.
The next album gotta be.
I love Cole, but
I love him too.
His song. He put out a song though. Well, he put out a feature after that was terrible also, and I was like, "Damn, this dude is falling off completely." Like,
he did.
What's going on right now?
The first one was terrible. The grippy was terrible.
Yes. Oh my god.
But then he had the feature on
another love song or something like that.
Yeah, and he was flowing on it, but it just didn't go nowhere. It didn't, you know what I'm saying? So we still waiting for him. You've been teasing the fall off. You've been, promoting the fall off. We're waiting for your album. When that comes, it gotta be some heat.
For him pulling the song, you think it was more? He was like, now we can't do this, my brother, or you think it was like, damn, it's not hitting. Let me just get rid of it.
It could be a little bit of both because the reception was not. A lot of people was not feeling it. So
I think it was three things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the two things that John just said, but then also I think that conversation he had with Schoolboy Q,
because
Because for Cole was always like, I want to get on the song and see. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna destroy you on the song. Like he's always said that. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? Every time he's gotten the song with somebody, he's always bodied them, right? Verse for verse.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once he understood where it was gonna go, he's like, damn, that's not what my intentions is. That's not what I want to do.
But
So
see,
of
I
course
think that's
it
the
looks crazy
thing.
to us.
There's no telling that it would have went there if, because Kendrick said
I'm gonna
that.
tell you,
If
but
you
time
take it
out.
there, I'll take it further.
But I'm
And
gonna
that's
tell
something you
you
don't want
why.
to do.
But it's difficult because then if you know like there's real vitriol with these other two gentlemen,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get caught in that, right? There's been how many people just in real life got hit by strays and really had nothing to do with it. They just chilling because they cool with somebody, right?
And
And
I
that's the
think that's
same.
why he should have never made the song in the first place, because
Yeah.
all he caught was the stray. And it could have just been,
I mean,
what? That's y'all
those
problem.
still
That's y'all
got
beef.
heat.
Yeah, that's y'all beef. I'm going to just be over here.
Strays still hit. They still hurt, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. Like I said, the fall off, he better not fall off. he better. It gotta come. It has to come soon. Like we got the mic delete later joints, and that was cool, but that's just a little giveaway, whatever. Don't work that like those is gonna be singles and songs and hits. Like we don't. We want the album. We want the fall off. We waiting for the fall off, and it gotta. And people, I think people are gonna look at it and judge it a certain way too. I think it's gonna get some different ears compared to prior to 7 Minute Drill. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be a little different on the what he's saying, and he might address this. You know what I'm saying? And I
which
still
would be
hope
fire.
I
Which would be
still hope
fire.
we get a reunion between them. I hope this brings them closer because I still feel like Kendrick when he said you did Cold File telling Drake I think that could mend things. He still has love for him. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, this could be the thing that could finally get them to at least make a song together or something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something. I hope.
Right.
I'm still got hope, please.
Where they both rapping, not one
Yes.
doing the verse singing and the
Yeah.
other one rapping. Like, come on, y'all both know y'all rapping.
Yes. But I still got hope for something. Yeah, we might not get, the whole album, but if we could just get a song, them two together, whether it's on the fall off or whatever, like if we could just get that song, I'm here for it. I would love it. It'll bring. I'd cry. It'd be a little thug tear. Be a thug tear. But I have one question though. Of the big three, Gene, who you got at number one?
It's Kendrick, man. It's Kendrick.
I just making sure, John. I already know you got Kendrick as well.
Come on.
I just had to ask Gene because I just keep teasing him and asking him every other week or so. I just got to make sure check the temperature because Kendrick's been in my big three. He's been my number one in my big three. He's been there. I'm just glad he won the battle. Just let everybody else know this is what he do. He's been warning them. He's been warning for years. He warned the whole industry, and I'm glad he backed it up. That was the biggest thing. Because like I said, when Euphoria came out, I was a little nervous. I ain't like the cadence. I was like, ugh. And like I said, I like push-ups. So I was a little nervous when round one. But then Kendrick didn't let me down. 616 in LA dropped. I was like, okay, it's survival. I was ready. I was like, okay. But like, Euphoria had me a little, I was like, I liked it, but I was like, I didn't like that whole out of breath running flow. That high pitch. I didn't like that.
616 is still not on 616 is still not on DSPs yet?
I think he can't get the sample cleared. Remember, Drake's uncle was playing guitar.
Yeah.
They're not gonna clear that sample. They're not clearing that. You got Drake's uncle on the instrumental. Nah, no.
I'm gonna straight have
Change
to
the beat.
MP3 convert that.
Yeah, I got it. If you want it, I got the.
Yeah. I need that in my library.
I know where you can get it. It's around. We'll talk. We'll talk. So I don't want to skip over her, but with the ladies on the episode, I spoke about the young lady known as the Hot Tour girl.
Hot Tour.
Yeah. Just an update on her.
3 awesome things that have changed my life so far since all this has happened. Number 1, I got over my stage fright. I sang in front of 80,000 people with Zach Bryan the other night, and I cannot sing for but I did it anyway. Number 2, I quit my job at the spring factory, and so I don't have to eat Taco Bell all the time, but I'm still going to do it anyways. Number 3, I actually have to get ready more than one time out of the week now. I'm not allowed to look like Adam Sandler anymore. Well, it's not all delightful. Here are 3 things that have not been so great here lately. Number 1, I have to convince my pawpaw not to shoot the paparazzi outside of our house every day because they've been camped out here for like 2 weeks. Number 2, stop asking me for the link in bio for my OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans and there will never be an OnlyFans. I just make funny jokes. That's all I do. And number 3, I'm tired of the imposters and all the fake accounts. I don't have any kind of social media just yet besides Snapchat, but when I have the rest of it, you guys will be the first to know when I launch it. And by the way, there's one more thing that's really pissing me off. Any of you selling or purchasing merchandise online, it's not from me. It's not approved by me, and it's counterfeit, and I'm not making a damn dime off of any of it. But I just hired a manager, and I hired an attorney, so we're coming for you. But don't worry, I'm launching my merch store very soon, and you'll be the first to know to get your official Talk TUAH merch from me.
You know, I didn't want to just skip over that because there wasn't really much else to add, but salute to her. She's doing her thing. She seems like a very nice girl. I don't want to sexualize her, and you know what I'm saying? But she's smart though, or at least her people's around her is, because she's like, yo, I'm a celebrity now just from that. Let's monetize and make some money off of that. So salute to her, and you know, salute to everyone in her corner that's making it happen. However, what did y'all think about her viral moment though?
I mean, it's good for her, man. I mean, we've seen a ton like, you know, like this digital age, we're not seeing so many viral moments, and especially with street interviews, you never know what kind of response you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought I thought it was funny, bro. I never heard an answer like that.
And
But
she
you know
meant it.
exactly, yeah, and you know exactly what she was saying,
Mm-hmm.
and it still plays into who she is as a person,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like whatever she doing in the bedroom, that's her business. But meaning like, you know, she's from Tennessee. That's like that's other thing. Like when they spit, like
Mm-hmm.
she's like, yo, you know what she said. So, so I just was like, you know, she became a folklore. You know, when they started doing the remixes and all
Right.
that, you there, you got it. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
capitalize. So yeah, shout out to her,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully, you know, she's not getting any backlash from her family from that.
Right.
You know, from what like the rumor said. And then hopefully there's a young man that she's dealing with that's very happy and knows exactly what Hawk TUAH is. So there you go.
And she says she's not doing OnlyFans. She's not. She said
Yeah.
Playboy reached out to her. She did not. Like she's not doing none of that. So that's what's up. She's on the, you know what I'm saying, on the right path.
She got a certain morality,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
Just
Good
'cause-
girl
yeah.
morals over here. They know
Yeah.
what she's doing.
I don't mean she can't be a little nasty in the bedroom. That's her own business.
Exactly.
Salute.
John, what was your thought when you saw her viral moment?
Well, I mean, I thought it was hilarious, like with the way it was done and everything. It was funny as fuck. And then you know, to the point, like you know, she gave a little insight of what she gets done. Nothing too crazy, wasn't super graphic, but you know, she lets us know that she does it. She lays it down, does the thing. I see her taking her 15 minutes of fame and doing the thing. There was a picture of her with Shaq and shit. So like, you know, make your money, do your thing. And like I said, but the fact that she turned down things like, you know, money deals, you know, they throw money at you. OnlyFans and Playboy, like it shows she has morals, which, you know, we'll talk about later with other conversations.
Well, we can you know get into that conversation because I think you're alluding to the whole Chris Brown meet and greet. You know what I'm saying, for $1,111. You know what I'm saying, you too could take a picture with Chris Brown. You know, and we seen ladies do it, we seen some men do it, so it ain't just, you know what I'm saying, but I got the ladies' perspective on it. We've seen a couple of pictures, so I want to know first from you guys, before we go to one particular picture and you know moment that came from it. I want to know from you guys, what do you think in general about spending $1,111 for the meet and greet, and would you send your girl to the Chris Brown meet and greet? So, Gene, let me hear from you first.
Yeah, I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that you gotta have, you know, certain things in place already. Like if you're in a relationship, obviously there's communication around it. if you're a single woman, whatever, it's your business, right? I think the issue that seems to be stemming from a lot of the women being in relationships, and I just think that there's they got to be certain things in place, right? If you live in paycheck to paycheck, and you know what I'm saying, your man, you're struggling in an apartment, and you got $1,111 that you want to go spend on Chris Brown, then we talk about priorities. But just overall, before we dive deep into it, I don't see anything wrong with it. Ladies love Chris Brown. You got the opportunity to meet him and take whatever kind of picture you want. You know, go for it.
Would you
And
spend $1,111 to take a picture of Chris Brown?
me to take a picture with Chris Brown?
Yeah.
No, I would not.
Is there any celebrity that you would?
Yeah, probably Cardi B, uh, Janet Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like stuff like that. Because I even had the conversation. All right, let's just go there. I even had the conversation with my wife. It's like, yo, like, she used to love Genuine until he started looking crazy, right? Like, if Genuine was doing a concert and she wanted to go, pay 11.11 to get the VIP experience with Genuine and take whatever picture,
Mm-hmm.
go for it, baby, right? Because I know my lady, I know my wife. There's
Mm-hmm.
certain poses that it shouldn't even be a question. It shouldn't even be like, it's all right. But guess what? If she does do the pose, who's not gonna see it, right? Everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about that. Imagine like if I take a picture with Janet Jackson or Cardi B, they're like, I could take whatever picture, and I got no disrespect. I got Cardi bent over, touching her toes, and I'm behind her, and I post that on the internet, like, why, like, and I got a wife or I got a girl, like, why would I do that? That's that's just embarrassing to her.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if it's a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrity is a title. Under that title is still a person. So that means
Mm-hmm.
I still had another person who's of the opposite sex bent
Mm-hmm.
over in front of me in a sexual position. And I think that's what's being lost in the conversation because everyone just wants to say he's a celebrity. Chris Brown is still a man.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
And we're gonna come back to that. John, what's your thoughts specifically on just overall the meet and greet? $1,111. Would you spend it for Chris, or who would you spend it for?
So, two things. One, the concept is dope because of the 1111 album and all that stuff. I got it. In
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, I've always felt this way, and I've met quite a bit of celebrities going to different shows and all that, and I've always felt this way. I feel like celebrities owe us because we're the fans and we make them who they are. So I think things like charging $1,000, $111, like, is bananas
Mm-hmm.
because your average fan can barely afford the tickets, let alone go that kind of thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
as a celebrity, me personally, I can't speak for Chris Brown. If I was Chris Brown and that was my whole thing with 1111, I would have done $11.11, but because everyone could afford that, I would have done that, but with a raffle. So of course, because not everyone, you got to limit to how many people you can meet.
Okay.
I would do a raffle to the meet and greet, but for
Mm-hmm.
$11.11, because at the end of the day, I'm making millions off this tour because of you, because of those fans. So
Mm-hmm.
to overcharge him $1,000 is ridiculous. But
Mm-hmm.
he's Chris Brown, he'd get away with it. He could spend that much. So that answers that question. Now, when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to celebrity, no, there's not a celebrity, not a man or woman alive that I would spend $1,000 for in general. And I think the most I've ever spent is $80 to meet Corey Taylor, who's like the lead singer of Slipknot, which is huge. He's a huge star, and he was charging $80. Like, Slipknot is a multi-platinum diamond like band, and he was
Mm-hmm.
charging $80 to see him for a meet and greet, and he was mad dope. We sat there and talked for a little bit. It was fucking great. But anyway, I can't see an artist like in my head. I was thinking about it. Like, for instance, I'm a big horror fan. I went to a horror convention. Robert Englund was charging $150. I'm not paying $100 to meet Robert Englund. I'm not paying $100 to meet another man. That's not gonna happen. But even when it comes to females, I've never been female starstruck. There's no female that I was thinking about this, like, because I knew we were doing a podcast. I was like, the only crush I've ever had that I actually think about is in my late teens, early is Kerry Washington. But even then, I wasn't like, yo, oh my God, never been like that. Even like a lot of people know me know I love Rihanna. I don't like Rihanna physically, although she's an attractive female, whatever. Like, her music, I find extremely attractive the way she sings, but her physically, I'm not attracted to. I'm not saying she's ugly, but I'm just not attracted to her. But a lot of people who know me are like, oh, well, Rihanna. No, there's not a celebrity alive that I would pay that much for. I think I keyword alive because I think I might have paid if it was worth it, I would have paid maybe 150 to meet Stan Lee. But even that, I don't know, because it's still a man.
What about
and
Michael
again,
Jackson?
I'm not a huge man. I'm a Prince person, but I still want to pay
Okay,
that much
what
for
about Prince? Okay.
I'm
Okay.
like you're famous because of me. I bought your album. Like
I'll probably pay 150 to play basketball against Prince.
I would, but they got to be pancakes afterwards. But nah, I can't see him spend on celebrities. Now, you want the pause and wait on the opinion on the pictures, or how that works?
So I mean, the pictures in general. Do you feel like not like so? I want to, we're going to go into specifically that one picture with the gentleman, but the pictures in general. Do you think like Gene touched on it? If those women are single, then it is what it is. But do you feel in a relationship? Do you feel there is boundaries and things?
So from everything I heard from Gene, I'm on the same side as him. So in my opinion is, so if you're single, take whatever picture you want, but don't forget that you are also sexualizing yourself and showing your value as well, because you should have morals. But if that's the picture you want with that celebrity and you're single, do you enjoy, have fun? Now, if you're in a relationship, I'm not saying that those kind of pictures are off. I'm saying that those boundaries should be talked about with your partner first, because for me, for instance, a hug, kiss on the cheek, arm over the shoulder, I'm cool with. The rest of the shit, I'm not cool with if you're my partner. However, that's my opinion. There's dudes who watch their girls have sex with other dudes, and they're into that. So there's a dude who doesn't care about Chris Brown grabbing her ass, and that's fine, and that's cool in those relationships. But in my opinion, that boundary should be set way ahead of time, especially in that situation with that thing you're talking about. If I'm paying for that ticket, like there's going to be boundaries ahead of time. Like, yo, this is what, because in my opinion, someone being a celebrity, the celebrity status, your morals shouldn't change. Because in my opinion, Chris Brown is still no different than that dude over there, except for he has money. So you're saying because he's a celebrity, now your morals go out the window? I disagree with that. I think that you should still have some kind of morals for your relationship if your partner's against it. Again, all these are big ifs and hypotheticals because it depends on the partner. Me personally, nah. Chris Brown ain't gonna be grabbing my girl's ass, ain't gonna be palming her titty, ain't gonna be dick on the butt, hug behind the back. That shit's not gonna happen in my book, because you're gonna come back single. And in your opinion, if your man is a caliber, if you're a caliber man that's worth it, then they wouldn't want to risk everything for that one chance with that one celebrity. Because a lot of people are arguing that, oh, well, it's a fantasy. It's the first time ever meeting them, it's a celebrity. Yeah, that's a celebrity. That one time, now you're gonna lose the best man you ever had or best woman you ever had. And then another argument I've heard, one of the rebuttals from people that you did the podcast with, but also other females, is, oh, well, I would let my guy do whatever. Let's be real here. Women also have morals and standards. So most women, the Shakiras, the Rihannas, they're not gonna let dudes grab their butt and take a picture. They're not gonna let dudes grab their vagina, that's not gonna happen. So it's never gonna be an argument like, oh, I'll let my man do it. You're only saying that because that artist ain't gonna do it with your man anyway. There's no chance for that. Where a dude artist, you have Kevin Gates, you have all these dudes, like there's pictures of them, like they grabbing their dick, they grabbing their chest, they grabbing this, and they're taking a picture and they're fine with it. So it's not the same. But I call bullshit. I think a lot of the females that be like, oh, I would let my man. No, the fuck you would not. You'd be tight, especially if that went on social media live and your man got his face in fucking Nicki Minaj's ass cheeks. Like, you're not gonna be happy with that. Like, stop it. Stop the bullshit. You would not be happy with that picture. No.
So the picture in particular that we alluded to that went viral, Chris got shorty hiked up, got some thighs, some cheeks in the hands. She looks happy, and she's a very pretty girl too, by the way, but whatever. The picture went viral, and dude decided to comment on it, and we find out was her fiance, and I'm just gonna read his caption again. He said, "This was my soon-to-be fiance. This photo has gone viral. This was her birthday present. In my head, I was convinced that a meet and greet means shaking hands and getting a signed, autographed black and white picture or CD. I'm heartbroken, devastated, embarrassed, and bamboozled. Once I seen this photo and seen how viral it's gotten with the insensitive, supportive comments, I ended the engagement immediately. Going to the gym and start my life with Jesus until a new path is developed with the Lord's guidance. Fuck everyone who supported her." That was his response to the picture going viral and everything, what have you, so forth. Now, first off, he thought a meet and greet was shaking hands, getting an autographed picture. I think he was thinking, like you said, Comic-Con or something, meeting Stan Lee, somebody, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, John, what do you think about his reaction, response, you know, his comment to the picture that went viral, how he handled it? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, so the first thing is that obviously it's all hypothetical. We don't know what the conversation was like beforehand with his girl, but I know, like, putting my feet in those shoes, I'm looking at it like, all right, well, hey babe, I know you're going to this concert. I know how his meet and greets go. I'm letting you know how your meet and greet's gonna go. Respectfully, as my partner, I will appreciate the respect of you keeping it PG because you are in a relationship. And that is another man. I don't care if it's Chris Brown, Jesus Christ, it's still another man. So I expect the respect of us being partners. And that's a conversation I would have ahead of time. So now once that thing happens, if you broke that boundary, I already let you know how it was. So you shouldn't be shocked that, well, now the engagement's off and all this off. So we don't know what conversation they had, but I know that's the kind of conversation I would have because you're not gonna, to me, because celebrity status don't mean shit to me. To me, that is no different than you being in the club with another dude and he got you hyped up like that. Then two, when it comes to the thing, I've seen people talk about like, oh, it's not that bad. Let's keep it real, be a little graphic. But that's actually one of my favorite fucking positions. So his dick is on her vagina. Lifting a girl up and holding in the air, that's my shit. Like, no, like that's definitely a sexual position. Let's not play games and like, oh no, it's innocent. He's just holding her up. No, not at all. That's dick on vagina, 100%. That's I gets it in. That's different. So no, that's bullshit. And then the only part that I disagree with, and I think Tiff mentioned it, was if I was him though, I wanted to put it out on social media because it got so viral. Because now you're gonna get blasted. Now here's the thing: if you make it work, now you the sucker and it's terrible. If you break up with her, you're still gonna have all these people like, oh, all because of a picture, you're sensitive. Men already in general know they can't really show their emotion, let alone on social media. That was his mistake. He should never done that because you didn't know coming back from that. So I wanted to put it on social media. She would just know that all her shit was packed and done because we already had an agreement on what we're doing. But the same thing, if I was going to a meet and greet with a female that was known for those kind of pictures, there's not many, but a lot of those new hot girl summer girls, I've seen some of the pictures at their meet and greets, and it's kind of wild. If I was going to something like that, and my girl was like, yo, you can't do this. My job is to respect that relationship. And in my opinion, it's even more power if you're able to respect that because you didn't let the power of a celebrity change your morals. You actually show that you have respect for yourself, and you're like, nah, I respect my relationship. My man said that this is not okay, or my girl said this is not okay. We already talked about that because it's not about being controlling or being, or being jealous. It's about respect and boundaries. If I told you this is a problem, that's not controlling. That's me expressing myself to you. And if you're gonna manipulate me and gaslight me and make it sound like, oh, I'm being controlling because I have a boundary, that's really an issue that you have with yourself that has nothing to do with me. And you also don't respect me or the relationship. That's how I look at it. And vice versa, because I feel like what your rule is as a female, if you're like, yo, I don't like you doing this, I don't like you doing that. Like one of my exes didn't like me kissing girls on the cheek. It's not really my thing anyway, but cool. I'm not kissing no bitch on the cheek because you my girl. Like that's what you like. Say no more. Not a problem. One of my, I actually didn't like me liking pictures. All right, so I won't like any pictures. Cool. No problem. Like by all means, if that's what makes you feel better and makes you feel reassured and secure, I'm with it. But at the same time, I need that energy reciprocated. That's how I look at it, personally. But when they downplay the photo and like, yo, that wasn't sexual, that's a sexual ass fucking position, without a doubt. And Chris Brown was letting him know, like, yo, like, can your man carry you like this? Does he carry you like this? Have you been like this before? Because trust me, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Gene, what's your thoughts on it, Gene?
Yeah, I agree with everything that John said, man. I think, dude, he should have kept that close to the chest. You know what I mean? Talk to your boys, your close circle, and then really think on it because feelings and is a tricky thing. Emotions, right? When emotions is high, intelligence is low. So he obviously probably said that off of emotion, but if he's about to make that girl fiance, there's a lot more at stake than just the picture, right? And it's not just a picture, but I have to say it like that as opposed to possibly spending your life, the rest of your life with that individual, right? That's what we're talking about. If that was about to be his fiance, it's definitely a sexual position. You know what I'm saying? You know, my wife is on the thicker side. I make sure she know that I can lift her up because ain't never gonna be no question about another dude coming around and being able to do that. You know, I work out to make sure she know I'm physically fit to handle what we need to handle. You know what I mean? So, I get that point as well too. Of course, you see how Chris was looking at the camera, yeah, they can't do it like this, you know? And yeah, man, dude, he's right to have his feelings, even though everybody will tell him he's stupid for that. And no one's ever wrong for having their feelings, right? The problem comes in when you may act a certain way off those feelings, right? I think that's when the problem comes in, when people can then disagree and break down and tear apart your feelings. But having those feelings is always valid, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, and again, like John said, he's a man. Unfortunately, the world don't want you showing emotion unless they tell you it's okay to show emotion, right? That's kind of where we're at with it. And they'll tell you all the time they want you to show emotion, but when you show it without them telling you, that's the problem.
Right.
So he put himself in a hard position, man. You know.
And I think the weirdest part about it was, like we said in the beginning, like spending $1,111, and he thought that would just be a handshake and a signed CD. Like,
Well, I
so,
mean, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck, right? We don't know if this guy is kind of removed, right? And he doesn't see Chris Brown's meet and greet photos. Yeah, meet and greet is a hug and a picture with a sign something. And
but for $1,111,
yeah, brother.
I'm
Yeah,
not spending
yeah,
that for no handshake and no signed CD.
yeah.
So you letting Chris Brown grab your butt?
Not even that. No, but I was definitely not spending it for a handshake and a CD. Like, that's just, that's a bit much to me. Like,
I'm not spending that in general.
well, yeah.
Even if I was single and one of these girls, let's just say because of the big butts, let's say Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, like, oh, and you can palm my ass in a picture. I'm still not spending $1,000 to palm your ass in a picture. Like, I'm not doing that. Like I could literally holler at a chick and get a girl, like, or
Yeah,
my
it's a
own
lot
girl,
of
my own thing, like, to palm their ass. Like, I'm not like
yeah, a
your ass is
lot
worth
of free pictures you
$1,000.
could take. A lot of free pictures.
Your ass is not worth $1,000. I'm not paying $1,000. Like, I'm
Right.
not happy.
Right. Yeah,
I don't
like
care.
so. Yeah, like hypothetically, like I say, yeah, Cardi B and Janet Jackson. But in reality, can I see myself paying $1,111? I can't justify it because I get do and have so many more experiences with that money. You know, because I love experience, but you know what I'm saying? Not
No,
not that
100%.
again. Like again, if I was obviously I got my wife, I could do that free every day. And if I was a single man, then I could do that with a variety without paying 11.11.
Sex.
Buy three $20 drinks. You know, we have a good time. I see you the next day, and then maybe you let me do that because we had a good night the night before. You know what I'm saying? So
100%. Like, I look at it like, yo, that money, and it's not like no broke shit. I love spending money on other things, but that's, to me, I'm like, yo, that's 4 pair of Jordans. That's a ticket to go fly.
That's a
I go
trip.
fly
Yeah.
to go on vacation.
Yeah.
That's halfway to a cruise. That's like, there's so much more I could do with that money. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, yo, like, I'm gonna spend that to meet a celebrity. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. And I'm talking in general, not about Chris Brown, because I do love Chris Brown. I think he makes great music. I wasn't a fan of his younger stuff, but I got a fan as things went on. After he dropped Autumn Leaves, actually, is probably what the song that really put me on to Chris Brown. I've heard his music, but I never really cared. Autumn Leaves is probably my favorite song by him anyway. But I fuck with Chris Brown. I like his music. So it's nothing against Chris Brown. Any celebrity, I don't think is worth $1,111. Like, again, like I said before, you famous because of us. You should show some gratitude, and you should be like, yo, I'll meet and greet my fans for free or for a low cost, and again, make it a raffle. Make it like I get it, because if you did it for cheap, then you're gonna have 1,000 people online. That I understand. But then make it a raffle. The first 100 people, the first this, make it some kind of thing. But
Yeah, I agree. Like we said, I had the ladies on last episode, and John, like you pointed out, like they were saying it's different because he's a celebrity, and even I didn't really agree with that. And John, like you spoke on that, like at the end of the day, he's a man, and just because he's a famous man doesn't change the fact that he's a man. In my
100%.
opinion. You know what I'm saying?
To me, in my personal opinion, if my shorty was ever to be like, yo, oh, well, it's Chris Brown, he's a celebrity, to me, that's the equivalent of saying, well, that dude at the club, he makes bread and he's famous on TikTok. Like, what are so your morals change because he has more money, or because so what that means to me is that you love me conditionally, but if someone with more money or more celebrity status comes along, you might skew your opinion of me and go somewhere else because you're so easily moved just because they're a celebrity for that one night or one time to meet. And even on the podcast, like you had said something, and you had mentioned about Chris Brown, maybe what if he wanted a little more, and there was mentioning of like, oh well, maybe I would, maybe I like if you're willing to give up what you like, your morals can't be that high yourself. Like if you're willing to give up just because they're a celebrity, like, oh, I'm gonna give it up just because they're a celebrity. And then on top of that, what if you give it up and it's terrible? Like now you just gave up and now you got the whack shit. And your man was putting it down, and now you got to explain to your man that you cheated on him with worse dick just because he was famous. Like like the morals, it doesn't add up. Plus, like I said, you need morals. To me, if being a celebrity is enough for you, then that means that if we were in a particular, if we were in a situation where you had a chance to hook up with a celebrity, either behind my back or while I'm there, that means that we're in the club and Chris Brown's like, I'm with my shorty dancing, and Chris Brown's like, I'm taking you to the hotel. That means you're gonna leave me. You're gonna bounce because you've already shown that your morals lay in a certain area. Like, I'm not with that. If that's the case, then just go find your Chris Brown now. Keep it moving.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Do we think he overreacted? Like from what we know, like you said, hypothetically, we don't know if it was a prerequisite conversation prior to him going out. But just from what we know, he bought it for her birthday. Said, "Go, babe," calling off the engagement. Do we think he overreacted, or what do we think about that part of it?
See, it's a hard one because I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth about like what they said, what wasn't said before. One thing, just overall thinking about it, I think that his reaction is justified for the fact that it got blown up to such a huge proportion that everyone saw this photo that now like his reaction equaled the amount of blown up status that it went to. But I also think that like, well, hold on, not only I have to see, but now the entire, my mom's, my family, my father, my best friend, they all know that Chris Brown had my girl in the air. She's smiling like it's the best time of her life.
Yeah,
true.
And I paid for it.
Right.
Nah, wedding's off. Like, because if we had respect and boundaries, that would have never happened. And you would have, if I'm truly your life. So you know what? Bump your little Chris Brown CD by yourself and try to find another man of my caliber.
Gene, you agree?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to say that he overreacted, and a lot of people will say that, man, and that would invalidate his feelings. And again, like you get engaged, you get married, the conversation with the one man. Ooh, I'm glad y'all made it. You remember when that picture went viral with Chris Brown?
Every time a Chris Brown song come on,
right? You can't play no Chris Brown at the wedding, bro.
At the wedding,
I'm triggered. How you not gonna play Chris Brown at the wedding? There's a couple of songs you got to play.
Yeah.
And then even the side conversation on the table, like, girl, you remember when she took that picture of Chris Brown? I can't believe he still married her. Or niggas that's there, like, yeah, I can't. This nigga's crazy. It's just overall, it's just bad for him. And I know most women will be hypocritical and say no and all this stuff, but the shoe's only tight when you got to wear it. So, you know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine like in the friend circles, like your friends making fun of you and shit, like me and Paul arguing, I'm like, so what, the Niners beat the fucking Cowboys. Chris Brown had your girl in the air, my man. I'm gonna just throw it out there every time I get a chance. Your Bulls beat my Pistons, but didn't Chris Brown have your girl in the air? I'm gonna just use that all day. Like that man's gonna be embarrassed for life. So I understand where he comes from. Definitely. And like you said, you can't even play a Chris Brown song. Now he's traumatized. When he hears a Chris Brown song, now he's fucked. Damn, I love that girl, man.
Right.
She's my future.
And Chris Brown got a lot of hits, man. It's like, damn, I can't rock out to a lot of the whole 11/11 album. I can't I'm throwing all them CDs like, I mean, like I said, I agree. That his reaction is his reaction. I wouldn't have posted it on social media, but we definitely would have had the conversation and similar. I would have let her know that that's how I'm feeling, and this is why. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing this about you. And again, we don't know how long they've been together, so we're just going off of the little bit of information we do know.
But you know why? You know why he posts on social media?
Why? Well,
because when you're bro, everybody's on social media in some sort of capacity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say he's on there a little bit, but it's not just him. Like to John's point, your man's in your circle, your family. So what's in your mind when you're going through that? The easiest and fastest way to defend yourself is
Mm-hmm.
to post something out there for everybody to see. Now, of course, it doesn't always work out because you just fall into the trap of what the internet is these days, right? But I could see like him being like, oh, I got to defend myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, so
Right. Because like I said, I feel like, I'm the type of, maybe I'm private. I would have got low. He said he going to the gym, get right with God, da da da. I would have just did that. You know what I'm saying? I would let her know how I feel. I would have let her, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to let everybody else know. It's none of y'all
Well,
business.
I think to this point though, the problem is the pressure because
Yeah.
that picture went viral and it's kind of like everyone's like, yo, ain't that your girl? Ain't that your like? So I get that. I definitely understand how it looks when it comes to that. That pressure behind it, like yo, like damn, I gotta respond. Like I'm not gonna respond. Like this is my my future. This is my thing. Like
But my
and
people would know. The rest of the, it went viral. So 90% of the people that's liking it or whatever don't even know me. My people, my inner circle, they gonna know. Oh, what happened? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that picture. Yeah, I had to get rid of that. Nah, I feel you know
I
what
had
I'm
to
saying.
cut that
But
one loose.
right,
Snip
but
shit.
the internet don't need to know. They because again, the internet, most people don't even know who she was or who her man is. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to do something for them. Everybody in my circle will know that the wedding's obviously you got an invite. Yeah, you can rip that up. That's not happening. We canceling that. I'm gonna get my deposit back. The tuxes can give. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all that's going back. So my people would know. The rest of the internet, y'all don't need to know. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's how I would have handled it.
But one of the ugly truths though for that shit though is that as you talked about before, with like when it happened to Will Smith when Jada was talking shit when like look how fast they turn on like men just don't like I said men don't get that unconditional love. Look how fast he showed emotion. He's getting washed. He just saw the love of his life that he just paid for get fucking airlifted fucking big on vagina from Chris Brown and the whole world get to watch it. And this man's heartbroken. And most people are like, oh, you mad sensitive, then you this, you that. Man couldn't even show emotion. Like and that's unfortunate. That's where we live in. Like you see it happening to celebrities. Look at like I said, look at Will Smith. Like they made him a joke, they made him a meme. This like everything that happened, like it's it's just that's the saddest part, in my opinion. The saddest part is that my man reached out and said, "Listen, I broke off the whole engagement. Like I didn't expect that. Like I'm hurt." And the whole world was like, "Ha!" That's the fucked up part.
And other dudes like, oh, that means she's single now. She's single. All right.
Well, I don't know. I feel like that fucks with her reputation too, because I feel like dudes that know her will be like, I mean, I'm not gonna take you serious because you the girl got lifted by Chris Brown, but I'll still beat. I'm not gonna take you serious though.
That's what I'm saying.
Girls don't realize that.
You know, that's what dudes are gonna do. They're gonna just try, she's available now.
Yeah, exactly. Like girls don't realize that dudes of caliber that will actually bring status to you and bring a future with you. We look at those things, and it's like, well, I'm like, nah, like we can slide off, but I'm not ever gonna take you serious. Like never. I'm never gonna take you serious. And some girls look at it like because of a picture, it's more than a picture. It's deeper than that. It's the morals behind it. It has nothing to do with the picture. And if you think it's just a picture, you can't see the bigger picture, which is why you won't be in that position in the first place.
Look at John dropping bars. Okay.
Fine. That's what I do, baby. I miss being on here.
I can see. So we just talked about how men are perceived in social media and stuff, how we can't show emotions or things like that. That's stigma that's been going on. We all know about the red pill community, this, that, and the third, what have you. So recently on TikTok, video's been going viral of a gentleman asking a bunch of women, would they rather be in the forest
with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary.
With a bear.
What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you like fuck with them. So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
100% a bear, which is like terrifying to say, but
definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
A bear.
I would say a man.
When I said I wanted to have this conversation, John, you actually brought up that you've been having the conversation with a lot of your female friends and stuff as well. You're like me, when we hear stuff like this, I want to get the woman perspective on this, because maybe I'm bugging. Let me see the women I know. What are their thoughts on this? You know what I'm saying? So that was my first thought, and that's why I had the episode with the ladies, last week, because I was like, I need to, get that thought. Like, the ladies that I know, do they feel that way? You know what I'm saying? And if you watch the episode, you guys will see their thoughts on it. But now I want to get you gentlemen's, perspective on the question itself, the answers that were overwhelming, one-sided. We also saw Whoopi Goldberg and The View give their perspective on it. So, Gene, I want to start with you while it's fresh in your mind. Man, bear, that conversation. What do you think about that situation?
Yeah, if I could take a moment to kind of give two perspectives to it. Huh?
I said by all means, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my bad. The ignorant and ego side says, man, that's so stupid. Why would you pick a bear? I could help you get away from the bear. A bear is gonna kill you. You're in the forest alone, right? That's like the ego and ignorant side, and the side that would just look at myself as an individual, knowing what type of man that I am, knowing that it would not even be a question. Like, I will always get chosen over the bear, right? Me personally. But obviously this is a way deeper and broader conversation beyond that. And I'm mature enough to understand that. I had the conversation with a couple of young ladies as well too. And there's a lot of things that occur in this world, things that we know, things that are spoken of, things that we know from young ladies that are family members and friends of ours. And there are some things that they go through that we'll never know because they just hold or wear or keep that stain of embarrassment with them. Obviously, for those that don't know, the whole premise of it is really around how there's so many different things we as men can do to damage women besides a bear, right? The one thing a bear can do overall, that's the worst thing to a woman, is kill her, right? Well, guess what? Men can do that as well. And then, we talk about protect the woman, and obviously it goes into, the SA and grape area of things. Man, I just think that, I had to put my ego aside and say, I could see that, especially when you talk about a woman walking down the street, right? One of the scariest things for a woman to do is walk down the street past a group of men. And again, I had to remove myself and understand that it's not any one individual, right? It's not Paul, it's not John, it's not Gene, but it's just a collective of people that they're discussing. And even if overall I don't agree because I know myself, I respect their opinion and I value their opinion on how they feel they need to be safe, right? And what they're safe around. So whether if I like it or not, I respect it. I understand it. And yeah, I'm shocked. And for lack of better words, I'm saddened that most of them would pick the bear over the man. Because, damn, how did we get here to where they really mean that? You can see it and they really mean it. And I'm sad. Because that means if there's a random lady walking down the street late at night and she walks past me, she's praying that there's a bear she can run to before she walks by me,
John, what's your take on that?
So I'm all over the place with it overall because when I first heard it, I was obviously offended because I'm like, if I saw a woman stranded in the woods, I'm like, yo, like, let me help you. Like, let's get out of here. We'll get out of here. I automatically made it about myself, which goes to that ego and pride part, but also the not being able to, like, since I don't have that mentality, I don't know what it's like to look at a woman as prey and being the predator, where it's like, oh, I can take advantage of the situation. I'd want to help. I'd want anyone who knows me knows I'm like, let me help you get out of here. Like, it's this way. Like, let's steer clear of the bear. I don't want to be around the bear either. Like, let's be away from that motherfucker. Let's go this way. But I want to help. And so when I thought about it, first thing I did was get offended 100%. I was like, you'd rather be with a fucking 600-700 pound killing machine than a man? But the more I thought about it, I started thinking about different situations, and I'm like, to Gene's point where he's like, how do we get here? Like, it's unfortunate because in a perfect world, taken away from the bear area, women should be able to wear whatever they want. Women should be able to leave their drink open at a bar and not worry about someone putting something in their drink. Women should be able to come home at 2 a.m, stumbling home drunk and still make it into the door without being safe. Unfortunately, in the world that we live in, the ugly world, it's not the case. And the problem is that in all those situations I just named, 99.99999% of the time, that the person who does do those evil things is a man. So I started to understand things, especially being someone who, family and friends, I've had, situations where they have dealt with traumas in their past. So those are some people I talked to about the situation. And it was actually kind of split. Some of the people who have been in those situations before still chose a man, and they still saw the good in people. And some of them was like, no, Bear, 100% Bear. I don't trust any man, no man. But my problem is that a lot of times when you hear people talk about like, oh, well, not Bear, those are the same kind of people that are like, oh, well, not all this race is the same. Not all this is the same. Like, but then why are all men the same? Like, that's not a fair judgment at all. And then how does it work? Like, well, what if you're stranded in the woods and it's a park ranger, but it's a male park ranger that can get you out of there? You're like, oh, well, he's a male, so I'm gonna go the bear. Definitely the bear. You're not gonna listen to the park ranger. You're not, the person who's there to help you. Because chances are, if you're stuck in the woods, let's be real, the rescue team, when you see the things, the rescue team is usually gonna be males. The park ranger is usually gonna be males. It's one of the things, like, so where do you draw the line? Like, who's allowed to help you? And then my other problem, which I've seen other people talk about, I've seen people on your podcast talk about last week when you're thinking, and I've seen people on TikTok talk about, and the TikTok thing with the serial killer that women are in love with, it changes, going back to our previous conversation, depending on who the guy is.
Mm-hmm.
So like some people openly were like, oh, if it was Chris Brown in the woods, I have no problem. So that, but that thinking is a problem. Right. That thinking is a problem. That thinking is a huge problem. And that mindset is a problem. It sucks that there are males out there that do hideous, terrible things that give a bad light. But the problem is that if you believe that not all one race is one thing, not all one gender is one thing, you have to sit in that same book and be like, oh, not all men are one thing. And my thing is that not to be insensitive to females at all, because being assaulted even once is more than enough. That's more than two. That's one too many, 100%. But I would, from the females I've talked to so far, except for one, the females I talked to, all the other females have agreed that, well, majority of the men in their life that they know have never done anything to them, versus the one who did do something to them. So statistically, they were a lot higher chance of them being helped by one of those men that they know versus being attacked by one of the men that they know. When we were talking, but it's one of those things that, like, but then you have people like, as was brought up on the podcast before, something that I had brought to attention was that, you have that serial killer who brutally beat and strangled 2 women, killed them. And there's women on TikTok and on social media saying, I don't mind being alone with him in the woods. So it's a very weird dynamic overall. Because as a man who prides himself in wanting to be helpful, I mean, before this, my career path, law enforcement and shit was I want the help. I would never take advantage of my position. I would never, I want to help. So it still being a man, it's like, pridefully, you're gonna run to the bear? I would fucking help you. Like, what's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. I don't get it. But at the same time, as a man, I don't know if I would ever get it, because we don't deal with the same things that females have to deal with. Because at the end of the day, I never in my life had to cover my drink. I never worried about coming home at 2, 3 in the morning twisted, like, oh shit, someone's gonna try to attack me. We don't have to worry about the same things for the most part. So I guess I can never get in that mindset. But the more and more I thought about it, at the same time, I put myself in that situation. It might sound crazy, but if it was my daughter, if my little princess, if it was Ariel, I would hope that the male would help. But personally, I feel like I have a better chance of the bear leaving my daughter alone than some man in the woods. That's just how I feel. But using my daughter as the example, now it changes the whole mindset, because it's like, well, I'm kind of choosing the bear too. So it is a crazy thing overall. it sucks that we got, like, to Gene's point earlier, that we got this far. But again, men like me, men like, Gene, when he was talking, men like you, Paul, like, we're not in that mindset, that deviant mindset like that, where we don't get it. Like, because we're like, I'm here to help. Like, I want nothing to do with you. But at the same time, I think females have a toxic view on certain things, because you're saying if it was like a random guy like me, who you don't know in the woods, you'd go shoot the bear. But you're also saying that if it was Chris Brown dancing in the woods, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to Chris Brown. So, it's all men. It's all men. So it's Chris Brown. It's, it's me. It's you. It's your father. It's your brother. It's your son. Yeah. All of us are predators. According to your view, if you're saying you choose the bear over men, you're saying that if your father was in the woods with you, you're not going to choose your dad. You're going to choose the bear, because you're saying men.
And I think that's how I took it. Sorry to cut you off, but I think that's how I took it before even egotistically looking at it, not even putting myself into it, but I just, in general, I thought like the overwhelming number, excuse me, and like you guys said, like, we can't put ourselves in women's shoes, you know what I mean? But I was just doing the logic side of it, and it's like, as a man, my first thought was, like your brother, your father, your son, so I thought about men in general. And again, like I said, I can't see being questioned on the spot and my first thought being all the evil and ignoring the good that I do know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, not even just putting me into it, just thinking like, there's got to be some good men you do know that would at least come to your mindset first and foremost, just when the question comes up. And it's like, if we're at a situation, we're at a point in our culture and stuff where your first thought is the negative, that's sad. You know what I'm saying? And we've done an injustice as a people. And to your point, going back to like the last conversation about us not being able to show our emotion, or, you know what I'm saying? We just had a situation where Michael Rainey, who some know as Tariq from Power, was actually, grabbed and groped and molested on a live stream by a homie's sister. And he kind of even then had to just shut up. Like, he's not trying to ruin the stream. And he had to just, like, he's like, yo, he's looking to see, like, yo, anybody see this? Anybody see this? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, to John's point, like, again, and to rebuttal your point as far as us not having to cover our drinks, Cardi B said she would do that back in her days before she became a rapper and all that stuff, but she would drug, rob, and, you know what I'm saying, and manipulate. So we just don't report it as much, or we don't speak on it as much, and that's another sad side of it. Good.
No, I was just gonna touch on that. Like, so with because a lot of women, they stand behind the statistic of men sexual assault on females, and by far, the numbers are definitely high. But they don't realize that men who have been sexually abused by females, one, not only are there cases usually thrown out like where it's not even believed, but on top of that, a lot of men don't speak up because they're embarrassed, especially when it happens at a young age. They don't speak up because they're embarrassed, because they're like, oh, well, it was a female, so should I complain? Like, should I just be happy that it was a female? Like, should I leave it alone? Like, if all those things were reported, the statistics for females would be a lot higher than what it is. I still don't think that it'll be as high as men. I would agree with that, because we're just wired different overall brain-wise. I don't think it'll be as high as men, but it'd be a lot higher than, it wouldn't be a number that you could hide under, like, oh, look, we don't really do this. Like, no, yeah, I do it too. Yeah. And the thing is that, I mean, look, that girl, you can probably find a video on YouTube, that girl that grabbed, like, on stage, tried to grab Kevin Gates' fucking dick, and he went like, try to hit her, like, push her off. Like, bro, that's sexual harassment. Like, just because I'm a dude don't mean that's okay. Like, people don't understand that. Like, but we're looked at differently. We look at, oh, if we complain, then something's wrong with us. Like, right.
Going back to the Michael Rainey situation, when it happened, even 50 Cent was like, oh, she just was hitting on you. You know what I'm saying? It was just taking, she was just showing me that she liked you. And it was like,
it can definitely.
Right. And that's what we get. Because like you said, if he was to say, yo, what are you doing? It's like, yo, stop being a punk, No, I don't, like, she's harassing me. Like, this is SA by the definition. It's not courting. It's not, her showing affection to me. No, she's grabbing my junk and I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And again, we get looked at a certain way, like, why you ain't like it? Like, no, because
what's wrong with you?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I'm not saying that to just defuse and remove, the flip side of it. I'm just saying, we deal with things too, and we're not even allowed. If this question was posed to men first, and they said the bear, it would have been an outrage, right or wrong.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a similar spin of the question, but
yeah, I heard it was what was it, men and they act a man like would they be with a woman or a snake or something like that.
Well, nah, the one that I knew was that they said, would you rather share your emotions to a woman or talk to or hug a tree? And the other one was, would you rather share your emotions with a woman or talk to a wall? I've seen those. I've seen those ones, and most of the men chose the wall or the tree.
And again, we spoke about it. Sharing our emotions is a sign of weakness, and it's frowned upon. You know what I mean? So that tied all the way back to the Chris Brown situation with dude's response to his girl being hiked up. He you punk, da da da. It was just a picture.
Well, my thing, a view I always had, I've always expressed in my opinion, is that things like, first of all, harassment and sexual harassment nowadays gets thrown around. The word gets thrown around too much. Me saying, I mean, it's not my type to say that, but give you an example. Me saying, hey, I think you have pretty eyes. Nowadays, like, oh, that's harassment. That's sexual harassment. Like, no, it's not. I said pretty eyes. You didn't like the compliment. Cool. But that's not harassment, sexual harassment. Now, if I'm like, yo, ma, come on, yo, come on, I'm following you around. Now it becomes harassment. I get it. But me just making one comment is not harassment. And I've seen times where, like, you'll see videos like, oh, this guy harassing. He made one comment. And if you didn't like it, cool. But my opinion, harassment and sexual harassment also depends on your attraction to the person. Because back to the same thing, I might go talk to a shorty and be like, how you doing? You look good today. And she'll be like, get away from me, harassment. But Chris Brown does it. And you're like, yeah, Breezy, I do look good today. So how come it should be harassment for both? It should be like sexual harassment or how you feel for both. But again, your opinion changes based on attraction. So like if the creep, the Weasley nerdy guy, the creep that says, oh man, that dress is so tight or whatever he says. And you're like, oh my God, I'm offended. But then, this mega superstar or just a very attractive guy that you think is hot is like, damn, you filmed that dress, ma. All of a sudden thank you. You like the compliment. And
absolutely matters.
Vice versa with dudes because it's vice versa with dudes because there's girls that aren't attractive that might hit on and say something, and I'll be like, all right, thank you. But I'm like, all right. And or a girl I find attractive, like, nah, I appreciate it, thank you. I like, my whole tone, my accent, everything changes. The attention you get. So same thing for vice versa, not just females, it's dudes too. But attraction, your attraction to the person, whether it be same sex, opposite sex, that engages whether you're accepting it as harassment or you're just being hit on and you find it, it's a compliment. But that's unfair.
Yeah. But that goes into still like the bucket of a great point. Of course it does matter again, like attraction, right? But it goes into the point of like you said, acceptance / consent, right? Because if you're not attracted to somebody, then it's what we call unwanted attention, right? That's what harassment is. And now the same guy can say it, and because you think he's handsome or cute, it's not harassment because you'll garner that, you'll want that, So it's like it's a slippery slope. If you question how you look, man, just don't say nothing to them. Keep it moving. If you ain't a smooth operator, if you don't keep your line fresh, and if you don't smell good, stay out that way because you're gonna be on social media like them gym videos. Remember that? Remember that?
Well, I think it's crazy. And just talking from my personal opinion, what I think is crazy though is that through all my life, like I've always got like, oh, you have really nice eyes, or you have really long eyelashes. Like I get like, and I've never been like, oh, this girl's a creep. I'm like, all right, well, thank you, I appreciate it. And again, depending on my attraction to the person, depends on but it's always been at least a thank you. But like women are creeps too. Like
absolutely.
I got stories for days. Like women are creeps too, and women are bad too on certain areas. But again, if I'm like, yo, Paul, this girl saw me in a store and she was like, damn, look at your eyes, look at this, like. And I'm complaining to you like, yo, I felt like a piece of meat. I felt embarrassed. You'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
She was hitting on you. You should be happy. Like it's just crazy how much it's different for males to express themselves and how we're so quickly shut down. It's like, you know, it's a shame.
Yeah. And I think that's the overall crux of it. I think that, you know, touched on both topics that we just previously touched on. Like you said, you know, the person makes the difference. The attraction makes the difference. You know, even like you said, you know, they're like, oh, if it was a serial killer, if it's this one, yeah, but if it's that creepy looking one, no. But it's like, because you see how crazy the women go for the what was the dude that was the dude with the mugshot with like the green eyes and everything? They're like, oh, I'll bail him out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'll put
The one out in
like,
Atlanta,
he's a killer.
Yeah.
Like,
yo, I can tell you firsthand, because you know where I worked was a Supermax. So at Supermax, I had a lot of celebrity serial killers. And yo, their fan mail and nudes they would get from females and the stuff they would get from females is crazy. Like the girl
Like
that tried to
Ted
go
Bundy,
and meet them and see them was crazy. Like, and it's like, yo, like, so hold on, this dude right here that works, it busts his ass, makes a good check, is a good man overall. He might not be the most attractive. You gonna diss him, but this serial killer, you gonna wait up and send nudes to? Like, yo, it's bugged. He's bugged out.
So there's a thin line, I guess, for because I guess if the interviewer would have asked, you know, a deep dive, what if it was Chris Brown or what if it was so, then he might have got different answers. You know what I'm saying? Just off the initial question, you know, the answers went straight to men are evil. They'll kill me. They'll do such as that. What if it was Chris? Oh well, you know what I mean. You'd have got that flip side. It'd have got a smile like, well, if it was him, you know what I'm saying? And that's because again we all kind of took it like you said, Gene, remove the ego, remove yourself from it, trauma, things that people going through. But it's how quick that trauma can disappear if it's celebrity person. You know, oh, it's so and so. Oh, okay, well, I wouldn't mind dealing with him. You know what I'm saying?
Without giving out the person's details and stuff, one of the females I talked to has had numerous unfortunate events happen to them in their life. And we were talking, and they were like, we were talking about like the man bear thing, and they were like, yo, like, listen, I trust you, you know, completely, but no, you too, my son, like a man is still capable of doing it. And I'm like, you trust me, but I'm still, and I was trying to, but again, we'll never understand because we're getting in that mindset. Because let's be honest, if we're in the woods and it's a bear or a female, like, one, I'm gonna shoot the female because I'm not trying to fight no bear. Like, I don't know who you think I am. I'm not fighting a bear. But also, I shoot the female because I'm safe. Like they're not gonna beat me up. Like, the worst, they won't stop talking. Like, all right, well, it'll be a long walk in the woods. But like, we don't have that same fear in general. Like, forget just sexual assault, being attacked, being punched, being murdered. Like, we don't really have that same fear. Even though there are female serial killers, like, we don't have that same fear overall. So it does suck. I do get that. I do understand completely when it comes to that thing. But going back to, you know, the ego part, it's just hard for a man of my particular caliber, knowing that my intent is always good towards a female. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can't even see myself lifting a hand to a female. Like, like, so let alone like, yo, you're in the woods. Like, I'm trying to help you. So the ego part definitely triggered me first, without a doubt. But then the more I got to understanding, like, you know, and then put my daughter in a situation, it made it a little different. But the moral of the story is that they choose bear unless it's Chris Brown.
I think that's the truth. I think like I said, a certain person, you know, that their crusher, whoever could get them to pull it back. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's human nature. I think that's, you know, culture, what have you.
Also, real quick, the statistics were fucked up, though. The statistics, because they were talking about, oh, well, your chance of being attacked by a bear is 1 in 2.1 million. Like, they were, like, first of all, anyone who knows statistics can be skewed. First of all, there are more males in the world than there are bears. So statistically, the bear's going to win regardless. What they didn't mention was that when a bear has sight of you and is already on your track, the chances of a bear attacking you are 80%. So that's a high-ass number once the bear is inside of you, because in my opinion, when I'm thinking that, like, obviously I'm adding to the story, when I'm thinking bear man, I'm thinking that they both have you in view. Like, the man sees you, the bear sees you. Like, You know, like the Bears, like they're once they have you on, like that's it.
But
They have
Whoopi Goldberg said,
Grizzlies will gnaw on you.
yeah, because she's a fucking idiot.
That was a very smart comment.
It's just like the bear just gonna, if it's a grizzly bear, it's just gonna gnaw on you. That's it. Like that's
And then
all.
even like the bear's not gonna shoot me. Shut the fuck up, Whoopi.
And I love me Whoopi, but she could have took a commercial break by herself and let the other ladies talk about it.
I like Sister Act. I like Ghost Whoopi. The last 5, 6, 7 years of Whoopi, I'm not a fan of personally.
Right. I think even Joy's face when she was saying, she was like, "What?" Like even when you got Joy looking at her like, "What?"
Yeah, the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to look at it like, yo, when you choose man, I mean, when you choose bear, you are literally saying that your husband, your boyfriend, your brother, your father, your son, you're saying all of them ain't shit and can't be trusted. Like we're not realizing, like if I told you, yo, there's a brown bear, a black bear, a grizzly bear, and a polar bear in the woods, you're gonna be scared of all 4 of those fucking bears. If I tell you there's a random stranger, your father, you know, a firefighter, and your son in the woods, you might at least choose your father and the son. Like, you're not gonna choose none of the bears. You're not gonna choose none of the bears. So again, when you talk like, you know, man, it really depends on who the man is at the end of the day. Because, but if you're choosing man, if you're choosing bear, you are automatically putting your father and every other man in your life that you think is a good man. You're saying that they can't be trusted in the woods alone with a female either. So, I mean, that alone speaks for volumes.
Yeah, like I said, we in a bad space, man. If that's and again, if that was honest, true feelings, it sucks. Like that, we're in a bad spot, man. We're in a bad spot. I don't want to hold you guys for too much longer, but thank y'all for joining the conversation. Thank everybody for listening and watching. The conversation continues as always. There will be, you know, much more to talk about. This is a great topic that I can see us expounded on a little further later on as well, because it was very like intriguing to see. But we you know, us men, we understand. You know, ladies, we wish no ill will on you, but we do know that there are men out there that do. You know, and it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know however else to put it. Like it sucks. But you know, share your thoughts. You know, everybody watching, listening, give us your thoughts on the whole conversation. And you know, we got to do better. You know, that's all I can say is we got to change that. You know, we got to get somehow, some way, get to a point where people feel safe with each other. You know what I mean?
Chris Brown for president.
But thank you, everyone. Later, guys.
After the podcast, I'll be doing meet and greets for $1,111. Just so you know.
All right, no doubt. I'm not paying for it, but no doubt.